Hi everyone. Today's demonstration, I'm going to be demonstrating a new feature available in Simple GIS Client version 11.2. Again, this is the Simple GIS Client desktop GIS application for Windows. And this new feature allows you to combine free-form text with field values in creating your dynamic labels for your features on your map. And so this can be useful when you're needing to add some descriptive information with the field values that you're labeling. So to demonstrate as an example, I have just a very basic map, and I've loaded a county shapefile here into my map, which is the top layer here in my table of contents on my map. And in this particular county shapefile, which is indicated by these blue boundaries with the blue hatch background, it has some demographic data that's been loaded in with this shapefile, and if I wanted to take a look at it, I could use my View Feature Data tool here, select this tool, and now with my county shapefile as the active layer, just click on a county to bring up its attribute data. And I see as I look down the field list here, the fields I was referring to is this total pop, which references the total population for the county, and then also have that broken down by total male population and then total female population. And in addition, I've also have a couple of calculated fields that's been added to this shapefile to give me the area measurements. I have a measurement in acres here that tells the total acreage encompassed by this county. So in a typical situation, if I was going to label these field values, I'll dismiss my attribute dialog box, I would simply go to the layer that I'm wanting to label, in this case my county boundaries and my table of contents, double click on the layer to bring up the layer properties dialog box, and then I would go to the label definition tab. And then on the label definition tab, as I click on it, I see that I have listed all of the available fields in my shapefile, and I would just simply select the fields that I want to label. And if I was creating a multi-line label, a stack label for instance, I could select the total population and then click on this Add New Label Line button to add this as a new line to my label. I would do the same thing for the male population, and then I could do the same thing for the female population. And if I was to click Apply, I would see that my features have now been labeled on my map. But unfortunately, unless I just was inherently knew what these values represented, I really couldn't tell you what these numbers mean. And so this is where the new feature that's been introduced in the version 11 of Simple GIS Client, I think, can offer some assistance. So for instance, if I wanted to add a text descriptor either before or after any of these numbers so that it would be more readily apparent what these numbers represent, I would go back to my label definition by double clicking on my county layer and my table of contents again. And as I do so, I bring up my layer properties dialog box once more. Again, I would go to the label definition tab. And now I'm going to remove these fields that I've added in the label definition. So I'll just select each line, and then I click on this Remove Label Line button to remove that line from my label definition. And so now what I want to do is, before I add those field values to my label line, I want to give a text descriptor before the actual field value. So underneath the available fields list box, there's a new edit box called Freeform Text, and this allows me to type any type of descriptor that I want to include in my label. So for instance, if I just wanted to add a descriptor, and I'm going to call this total pop for total population, I'll do a colon, and then I'm going to add a space after the colon, because this will give me some separation between my freeform text descriptor and the actual field value. And now I'm going to add this as a new line to my label definition, by clicking on the Add New Label line. And I see that this is text that I've entered, as I can see, because it's enclosed by the double quotations. And now I can append my field value at the end of this text descriptor. So I would go under my available fields. I would locate the field that contains the total population value, select it. And now I'm not going to add it as a new line because I actually just want to append this to the end of my existing label line. So I would select this line in my label definition, and instead of clicking the Add New Label line, I'm going to click this button with the plus sign on it that says Append. If you look at the help, as you hover over it, it says Append Label Field. And as I click on that button, I see that it actually took this field value that I had selected and appends it to the end of this line. So now I'm going to repeat this process for the other lines that I want to add. So I'm going to add another text descriptor, and we'll call this male pop for male population. And I'll add a space, and then I'll, I forgot to add my text. So I'm going to call male pop, colon with a space. Now I need to click this Add New Label line to add it as a new line to my label. Now I'm going to select the total male field, select the line I want to append it to, click the plus button. And then I'll do the same thing for the female. Now I could also append text either before or after my field values. So for instance, if I wanted to display the area of the county, again I have this calculated field that gives me that value in acres. So I could add a descriptor, let's say for area, that just tells me what this value that I'm going to add represents. And then I'm going to select the area in my label definition, select the field containing the measurement, append it to the end, and now I'm going to add another freeform text to give it the units of measurement that this area is in. So in this case, I'm going to add a space at the very beginning. Again, this gives me separation between the field value and this text that I'm going to enter. And in this case, I'm just going to simply click the unit of measurement, or type in the unit of measurement that this value represents. I'm going to select my area label line and use the plus button to append that text now to the end. And now if I was to click apply, I see now that I have these labels that has the text included with it. So now I can easily see that this first value is my total population, followed by male population, then female population, and then I can see my area measurement and see that the unit of measurement is in acres. So again, I realize this is a fairly brief demonstration today, but again, I think this is a useful tool, and hopefully it'll be of some use to y'all as well, to help you as you're trying to label these features on the map. But as always, I just encourage you, for more information, just please visit the website. And that website is www.simplegissoftware.com. Thank you.